Okay, some problem with the settings. Just give me a minute to take care of the team settings. In the meanwhile, so there were two way back in BC. There were other people who so there were different explanations. One of the somebody again removed the presentation.
Children, please don't remove the presentation. Ma'am is very okay. Please don't remove.
Madam, sorry about the inconvenience. I think it will be better now. I changed everyone to attendee, and you can carry on.
Sure. Thanks, Arvind. So there used to be different arguments to explain how does the sun rise in the east and set in the west. So they used to think that in the left side image, they used to row the sun. Somebody used to row the sun in a boat during night, and the sun would rise in the east every day in the morning, and in the night somebody would row it back to the eastern side. Somebody else gave an explanation that the sun would be driven by a chariot pulled by magic horses that could fly. So during the morning, the chariot would fly. By afternoon, it would reach the top of the sky, and then the evening it would reach the downside on the left side, and then it would again come back somehow without being visible from the other side to the eastern side. People thought that it was the same for stars that were far from the North Star, because they noticed that there is one star which they called the North Star, which would not move at all. But the other stars used to move from the east and they would set in the west. In the night time, the moon used to rise in the east and set in the west. So they thought that similar way, either the stars and the moon were rowed from west to east, or they were also pulled by some horses. But then there came the question, how deep is the earth? So there is a belief, people could not figure out, is it 1 mile deep, is it 2 miles deep, is it 40 miles deep, how deep is it? So then there was an explanation from our the earth is standing on elephants. These elephants are standing on a huge turtle which is floating in the ocean. But then the next question is, how deep is the ocean? None of these could explain a lot of the things. So one of the first Greek philosopher who questioned these and tried to understand what's happening is Anaximander. So what he noticed is there is one particular star in the north side that doesn't move, which he called the North Star. But then the other stars traveled across the sky during the night, and these stars did not move in a random patterns. They all moved. So every day the North Star would be at the same position. But the stars around the North Star would move in circles from one day to the next to the next to the next. So today, if I am looking at a particular star near to the North Star, it is at a position. Tomorrow, it is at a different position with respect to the North Star. The next day, it's at a different position. But after a few number of days, it would again come back to the original position that I saw today. So each star was moving in circles around the North Star, and they were all moving together. The ones that were close to the North Star were moving in smaller circles. The ones that were farther from the North Star were moving in bigger circles. And the sun itself was moving. So he came to the conclusion that the sky is a huge hollow ball or sphere, like what you see there. That's the whole sky which he defined. And the sky turned on an invisible axis around the earth. One end of the axis is the North Star. The other end is somewhere which he could not see. So when the sphere of the sky rotated, the stars, sun and moon rotated along with it. And he thought that the earth is a flat slab which stretched across the sphere of the sky at the center. So you can see that the center of the axis, the center point of the axis passes through the earth. Somebody mute yourself. If you have a question, raise the question or else mute yourself. No? Somebody's so the
Hello, ma'am.
yes.
I'm scared.
Yes. What's the question? Okay. So you see that point through which the axis passes through the earth. People, Axamander thought that is somewhere the center of the sphere of the sky, and the earth is a flat slab that passes through that stretches across the center of the sphere. But there were some problems with this one. He thought that the earth is a large flat disk, but it is smaller than the sphere of the sky. How did we come to this conclusion? We saw that the earth is a large flat disk, but can we go? There was nobody who could. Yeah, Rupesh, what is the question? You raised your hand.
Sorry, ma'am. Mistake.
Okay, that's it. So the earth is a, we thought that the earth is a large flat disk, but there was nobody who could reach the end of the earth and touch the sky. There was nobody who could reach the end of the earth and touch the sky. So then Anaximander said that even it is a large flat disk, but it is smaller than the sphere of the sky. No matter how much I go far, we reach water, and no matter how much far in water we go, we could never reach the horizon point where the earth and the sky seems to be meeting. Then if they do not meet, the next question is, why does the water not spill off the end of the earth? Then they thought, the Greek philosophers thought that maybe the earth is a shallow ball which is slightly raised on all the sides, and so the water does not fall. Then again, the next question that came up is, water does not fall, but why does the earth not simply fall? This is a question that we will keep coming up till the end of the presentation, a different context. When the earth does not fall, there is again a question, if the earth is not flat, what other shapes can it be? Because the earth is not flat. The earth being flat raised the question, why does the earth not simply fall in the sky? There's nothing holding it. So to help with understanding the shape of the other objects that we see in the sky, so other than the earth, they were able to see the sun, the moon and the stars. We do not know the shape of those objects also. So to understand the shape of those objects, people were looking, when they were observing the sky, they saw some differences. First difference was that the sun and moon are different compared to the stars. The sun is a circle of light at all times, and it was giving us light. They could make out that the sun was giving us light, but the moon would change shape. The moon at some times would be a full circle, at some other times it would be a half circle, and at some times it would be a crescent, which is a very thin strip, and it had all the shapes in between. So the full circle, they considered it as the full moon day, and the crescent or the day after the crescent when it's barely visible is the no moon day. So the moon was changing shapes. Also, the moon changed its position with respect to the sun. And whenever it changed its position with respect to the sun, its shape also changed. Sun had a light of its own, but they figured out that moon shone by the reflected light. So in the right side diagram, the sun is on the left side. There's that bar showing sunlight. So the sun is on that side, and when the moon and the sun are on opposite sides of the earth, they saw a full moon. When the moon and the sun are on the same side of the earth, they saw that the moon was a crescent shape or not visible, or a very thin strip. So they noticed these things, and if you see the different phases of the moon here, the moon is either a circle, or the shape also changes based on, there is a shadow that is falling on the moon, and at the smallest size or during the no moon day, what we see is a crescent. All of those shapes gave us an indication that the moon had to be a round ball or a sphere. Then they also noticed that the sun shone on the moon equally well from all angles. So if you see in this image, the sun and the moon are on the opposite sides of the earth, but then they're not exactly opposite in a straight line. Sometimes the sun might be a slightly towards the front side of the screen, and the moon is also towards the front, or the sun might be a little further inside. Whatever you are seeing in the screen, the moon is also further inside. The sun is inside, the moon is towards the outer side of the screen. So try to imagine 3D perception here. So irrespective of where the sun shone from, where the sun shined on the moon from, shone on the moon from, it was equally lit up from all the angles, from all different angles. Also, the moon received the same kind of light on the side that faced the sun. So on the side, so if you see that in this image, on the top side, there is only half part of the moon which was getting the light. So whichever side was receiving the light, the moon received the same kind of the light. So on the top part of this image, the moon is receiving light on the right side. On the bottom part, the moon is receiving light on the left side. Either way, it received the same kind of the light. This can happen only if the sun is a sphere. So we already first, Anaximander first said that the sky is a sphere. Based on the different phases of the moon, we figured out that the moon is also a sphere. Based on how the sun is lighting up the moon and the different phases, even in different phases of the moon, we decided that the sun is a sphere. So again the next question comes up, is Earth flat or is it also a sphere like all the other objects in the universe? Then people argued that no, Earth is different, even though sun and all of them are sphere, Earth is different. It's not a sphere, it's flat. The next information that gave us questions about is the Earth round or flat is the changing position of the stars. So if we go out and let's go out on the top of our house and sleep there for a few days, you will see that the stars are changing position. Also, if I am traveling northwards, the stars that I would normally see on the southern horizon would disappear, and I'll see new stars in the northern horizon. Rakesh and Yashwant, do you have a question?
Hi, sir. What are you doing? Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay. You have any questions? Rakesh or Yashwant, you raised your hand.
Okay, ma'am. I'm muting.
Okay, let's continue. So, when people used to sail during those days, so when they were sailing northwards, they saw that the stars that they were seeing in the southern horizon would disappear, and they would see new stars in the northern horizon. If they were traveling southwards, the stars that they would see on the northern side would disappear. They would see new stars in the southern side. When they came back home, they saw the same stars as what they saw earlier, but they were in a different position compared to initially. Dakshita, you have any question? And so they saw that not all stars are seen from all parts of the earth. There are stars that are not seen at different parts of the earth. So Anaximander came up with the explanation that maybe the earth is a cylinder. So in this diagram, the earth is instead of a flat object in the center of the sky, maybe the earth is a cylinder, again which is at the center of the spherical sky. So you see those arrows, when I am going northwards, that is upside arrow, I am able to see the stars that are on the northern side. When I am going south sides, I am going south along the cylinder, I am seeing the southern side. So this one, so Anaximander came to the conclusion that Earth is a tin type cylinder. But then if it is a tin type cylinder, the question again comes up, why does the Earth appear flat? So one easy explanation is the Earth is so huge. The Earth is so huge that in a small portion, it appears flat. The analogy that Isaac Asimov gives is, consider a huge balloon, and the small circle on the balloon is what the ant can see. So the ant thinks that that part is only flat. So the next question that came up is, so have anybody tried walking on a circle? You know, in Bhavani Island, we have this circular circular frame on which you can walk. Have anybody tried walking on it? You keep when you try walking on it, you keep rolling down. So they got a question ki if our earth is cylindrical, when I am walking farther away from the center point, consider I am at the center point, why do I not feel like I am walking downhill? Because the earth is curved. And why do we not slide down? So people thought it is because the earth's surface is rough. But then when ships are going, why do the ships also not slide forward? And why does the ocean not slide downwards and all its water pour off the earth? And does the earth curve only on the north and the south side? Does it curve or not curve on the east and west side? People could not figure that out because the sky itself is rotating. So the stars and the moon and the sun in the sky itself is moving. So when I travel along the east side, the sky itself is moving and I cannot make out whether the stars are changing or not. To understand that, to understand this part, something else helped, which is again to look at how the ships are disappearing. So if the earth is flat and I'm traveling farther from a position, we will see that I will become smaller. So so there is somebody who is walking, who is traveling farther, we will see them smaller. And after some point, after a very large distance, the person will disappear. So the same thing is what we would expect when ships travel away from the coast. So a ship should appear smaller, and it should finally disappear. But I should be able to see the bottom hull of the ship as well as the top sail, as long as it's visible. But what they noticed is, close to the coast, the whole ship is visible, the bottom hull and the top sails. For a little distance away from the ship, slowly the hull starts disappearing. Further away, the sail starts disappearing. Finally, we see only the top of the sail before the ships disappear. So even if they used a telescope, can you guys recognize where that picture is from?
Bahubali 2.
Bahubali 2, Ballala Deva watching from a telescope. Yes.
Yes,
Ballala Deva looking from a telescope. So even if
Yes,
we were
ma'am.
looking from a telescope, instead of the size becoming small, they noticed the same phenomenon. The hull would disappear and then the sails would disappear slowly. The tops of the sails would disappear. So they were like, is the ship sinking? Only when the ship is sinking, we would think the hull would disappear, right? But then almost all the ships that went out to the sea came back and the sailor said, no, our ship never sank at any point of time. So this type of phenomena will be possible only if the earth's surface is curved. We already know that the earth is like a cylinder and it is curved on the right side and it is curved towards the north and the south side. But then they noticed that whichever direction the ships went, the ships disappeared bottom first. Whether east, west, north, south, or any direction in between these four directions, the ship disappeared bottom first, then the sails, then the whole ship. Also, the ships disappeared at the same rate. So if the ship was traveling east, at 2 miles from the shore, what was visible was the same as what was visible if the ship was traveling west, or if the ship was traveling southeast, or if the ship was traveling southwest. Whichever direction, the ships disappeared at the same rate. So the only shape that curves like that is a sphere. So they figured out that the earth curved in the same direction, curved in the same amount in all directions. And finally they concluded that the earth is a sphere. There was one more evidence for explaining that the earth is a sphere. So we all know that the full moon comes only when the sun and the earth are on the opposite sides. The sun and the moon are on opposite sides of the earth. For some particular full moon days, they noticed that a shadow of the earth, the moon would disappear and it would be a red glow, and they called it lunar eclipse. So we all hear about lunar eclipses, right? So the red moon, blue moon, you might have heard about those. So how they noticed is they would see the whole moon, then within a few hours or a few minutes, there would be a shadow that would move in. After a certain point, the moon would be covered completely and what we see is just a red glow. Then the shadow would move out from the opposite side and within a few hours we see the full moon. So the diagram on the right side is the different phases of the moon during a lunar eclipse. So they figured out that earth casts a shadow on the moon. So the earth is in between the moon and the sun. So earth is casting a shadow. Now this shadow is also a curve which looks like part of the circle. You can see in these images that the shadow is like a curve that looks like the part of a circle, right? And irrespective of the position of the moon, the shape of the shadow remained the same. So let's say we have a lunar eclipse that started at 6 o'clock in the evening. So the moon is on the eastern horizon and the lunar eclipse lasted for 2 hours. So they saw the similar phases of the moon. Let's say the eclipse started at 9 o'clock in the night. At 9 o'clock in the night, the moon is, I would say, about 60 to 75 degrees angle with my reference. Even then, the moon showed a similar phases. 3 o'clock in the morning, let's say the eclipse started at 3 o'clock in the morning. The moon is about 75 degrees on the western horizon. Even then, they saw the same phases. So irrespective of the position of the moon, the shape of the shadow remained the same. So the earth has a shape that casts a circular shadow on the moon. With this also, Aristotle concluded that the earth is a sphere. But now, if earth is a sphere, we come to the question as to why do people not slip off the earth? Why does the air and ocean not slip off the earth? So people notice that things fall downwards. So what is the downward for a sphere? So the center of the sphere is down for a sphere. So whatever part of the spherical earth you are in, you are all pointing towards the center of the sphere. You see all those arrows are pointing towards the center of that sphere. So everything is attracted towards the center of the earth, which also explains why the water in the oceans and air in the atmosphere stays on the spherical earth without flying off or falling off the edges. So this was called gravity much later. This is what we know today as gravity. So, but then we know that the earth is a sphere. How big is the earth? Eratosthenes in 240 BC calculated the size of the earth. He used a very simple method. So, if the earth is a sphere, I put a vertical rod at some point and the sun is exactly above at that point, there will not be any shadow. But when I move further away from this place, the sun will cast a shadow because it is at a slanting corresponding to this. So the sun is exactly above me, so I will not cast a shadow. But some distance away, the sun will cast a shadow because it is not exactly away, it is at a slight angle. So he used this principle, and they determined the time at which, in this place called Cyrene, the time at which the sun is exactly the sun is exactly above the pole, and it is not generating any it's not generating any shadow. At the same time, they determined what is the size of the shadow that is being generated. So that is generated in Alexandria, which is exactly 500. They know that Alexandria is 500 miles from Cyrene. So when they calculated this angle, using this, Eratosthenes calculated that the Earth's circumference is 25,000 miles and its diameter is 8,000 miles. But then a lot of people did not believe that. They said that Eratosthenes gave a big number. It should be maybe maximum 18,000 miles. A lot of sea explorations happened based on that calculation of 18,000 miles. In one of the presentations where I did, I spoke about how India, the sea route to India was discovered by Vasco da Gama first. So when the Europeans were trying to find a way to reach India and China, but they couldn't travel by the sea, they tried to see if they could go westward. Again, going west. At some point, I'll go around the earth and try to reach India. Like that, and he discovered westward. But then first person was Ferdinand Magellan. Please mute yourself now. We are almost done. It's also 12:15. The first person who tried circumnavigating the globe was Ferdinand Magellan. In 1519, he started from Spain, and 3 years later, he started with 5 ships. 3 years later, only one ship returned to Spain. One ship returned to Spain with about 18 people on board. Magellan was killed in Philippines. So the red line that you see was the route that Magellan took to go around the world. And after his trip around the world, they were able to estimate that Eratosthenes' calculation that Earth is about 25,000 miles in circumference is correct. So before closing about how we found the Earth, there are a lot of people who have done circumnavigation of the globe. We have had about circumnavigation expeditions from India. And there was one which was done by all women of the Indian Navy. There were 2 solo circumnavigation trips. One was done by Dilip Donde and another one was done by Commander Abhilash Tomi. So that's all about how did we find out about the Earth is round, and once we know that the Earth is round, we had people going around the Earth on the seas and on the air. Any questions, kids?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
So do I assume you understood everything or you did not understand everything?
Understand, ma'am.
Understood.
So
Understood,
if
ma'am.
you understood, can you write or draw before the next session? Can you write in your own words? How did we figure out that the earth is round? Or can you draw some drawings? There are a lot of drawings that I showed from the book today, right? Think of any drawings that you can imagine, and can you draw it before the next session?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the first 5-10 minutes next session I want to spend looking at the drawings or listening to what you have written.
Ma'am, show the pictures once.
Want to see pictures once? Okay.
అది బ్యాగ్లో ఉంది.
First picture is about, we think the earth is flat and we can see the sky that is reaching out to the horizon. The second picture, there are two pictures here. One which speaks about somebody is rowing the sun on a boat during night from the west side to the east side. The second picture is about the sun being driven on a chariot during the daytime, also during the night time. So this picture is about like the earth is standing on 4 elephants which are balanced on a huge turtle which is swimming in an ocean. What people believed as how the earth was. So this picture is about first conclusion from Anaximander's observations that the sky is a sphere, North Star is fixed and there is an axis along the North Star, and Earth is a flat slab at the center of the sphere. This is a hypothesis where they said the earth is a shallow ball because of which the water does not fall off the edges of the earth. This is a diagram of the different phases of the moon and at what stages of the moon's position with respect to earth and sun do those phases occur. The image on the right side is about at what phases or at what position the moon is with respect to the earth and the sun, the different phases of the moon occur. Then the image on the top explains that the position of the stars change during the night time from day to day. Also the position changes when I am traveling either north or south, based on which Anaximander came with the conclusion that maybe the earth is a cylinder. So that's the earth as a cylinder at the center of the sky.
Okay, ma'am.
And this is our Bahubali's Ballala Deva's telescope. And the only object which curves by same rate in the all directions is the sphere, based on which we concluded that earth is a sphere. Using the different phases of the moon also, different phases of the moon during lunar eclipse also, people concluded that earth is a sphere. So this diagram explains gravity, that everything is attracted towards the center of the earth. How did we calculate the size of the earth? Using basic principles of geometry. And that's all. Any questions?
Ma'am, there is a
Can you repeat? I could not understand your question, ma. Harshit, can you repeat? If we don't have any more questions, then we'll close the session. You should have a class again in 12:30. You all should have another class soon, right?
Miss, miss,
Yes?
yes.
Yeah, Amrita, can you
We have to draw that pictures, miss.
repeat your question, Amrita?
We have to draw that pictures, miss.
You can use those pictures, or from whatever you have understand, you can imagine and draw some pictures too.
Okay, miss.
Or you can write about what you have understood.
okay, ma'am.
Yes?
ఇక్కడ ఫస్ట్ లెసన్ లో పిక్చర్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా మేము డ్రా చేయొచ్చా?
డ్రా చేస్తే అది ఆ పిక్చర్ ఏమి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తోంది అన్నది చెప్పగలగాలి మీరు చూపించినప్పుడు.
మూన్ చుట్టూ తిరుగుతుంది, చంద్రుడి చుట్టూ తిరుగుతున్నాయి సన్ మ్యామ్, సన్. మ్యామ్ మీరు మేడం కి ఇప్పుడు చూపించిన 18 పేజెస్ పంపిస్తారా? గ్రూప్ లో పోస్ట్ చేయమని చెప్తారా?
ఇది ఆల్రెడీ టీమ్స్ లో అప్లోడ్ చేశానమ్మా. సో టీమ్స్ లో ప్రెజెంటేషన్.
ఓకే. మిస్, మీరు ఇప్పుడు బోర్డు మీద రాసిన నాకు కనిపించలేదు.
నేను రాయలేదమ్మా బోర్డు మీద.
Ma'am, can we leave?
Yeah, we are done now.
Yes,
I think you have a
Yes,
class
yes,
at
wait,
1:30.
Yes, wait, children. So we have to give vote of thanks to ma'am. Ma'am, you have given very useful information about how does you know that Earth is round. Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your spending your valuable time with us. Thank you, ma'am.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, shall we leave, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Bye,
Bye,
miss.
and we'll meet next week.
Bye,
Bye, kids.
ma'am.
Bye.
Bye, miss. Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye. Sai, can you stop recording? We are done.
Bye, Miss.
Sai, you started recording. Stop the recording.